You've probably used Snapchat before, maybe to send a funny selfie, a quick message, or just to keep your streaks alive. But here's something wild. The app that became a social media empire started as a class project that everyone laughed at. Back then in 2011, three college students built something that they thought was cool, an app for sending photos that disappear. Their classmates called it the dumbest idea ever. Investors said it will never work, and yet, just a few years later, Snapchat, that dumb idea, was worth billions. This is the real story of how Snapchat went from a joke to one of the most influential social media platforms in history. It's a story about vision, betrayal, and the power of understanding what people actually want, not what they say they want. This is the story of Snapchat. Let's rewind to 2011, Stanford University. Ivan Spiegel was studying design and product development. He wasn't an engineer, he wasn't a coder, he was a branding and psychology nerd. In Nigeria, you just generally call him a graphic designer. Yeah, he loved thinking about how design makes people feel. In one of his classes called Product Design 110, students were asked to create an app that solved real-life social problems. And Ivan teamed up with two other students, Bobby Murphy, a quiet coding genius, and Reggie Brown, Ivan's fraternity friend who had a bold idea. Reggie said, "What if we could send photos that delete themselves after you have seen them?" People laughed. Ivan didn't take it seriously at first, like this was 2011. It didn't make sense at that time. But later, he realized maybe there is something deeper here. At that time, Facebook was all about permanent sharing. Every photo you posted stayed online forever. People were becoming more self-conscious, more afraid of posting anything real. So Ivan flipped that idea. What if social media didn't last forever? What if it was temporary, like real life? That concept became Peekaboo, the earliest version of Snapchat. They launched it in 2011, but almost no one downloaded it. The name was weird, the app was buggy, and even Apple rejected it twice from the App Store. But then something unexpected happened. A few months later, Ivan noticed something strange in the app's analytics. Downloads were suddenly spiking in a small town. He decided to investigate, and when he did, he realized who was using it. Teenagers. High school students loved the idea of sending photos that disappeared. They didn't care about filters or followers. They just liked their privacy. At that time, when their parents were joining Facebook and teachers could see your posts, Snapchat felt like freedom. You could be silly, weird, real, and then it was gone. It wasn't about showing off. It was about momentary connection. And by the end of 2011, Peekaboo was rebranded to Snapchat, a cleaner name with lightning fast logo that we all know today. Downloads started climbing. And then one summer, it exploded. Kids were telling their friends, "Dude, check this app. Your pics vanish after 10 seconds." It spread through high school, one friend group at a time. By 2012, Snapchat hit 100,000 daily active users. Ivan Spiegel realized he had something special, something Facebook couldn't copy yet. But just as things were taking off, the founders fell apart. Reggie Brown, you remember him, right? The friend who suggested the disappearing photos. He felt like he was being pushed out. When Snapchat started getting attention, he wanted recognition. But Ivan and Bobby believed they were the ones who built it and made it a success. The tension got bad until Ivan decided to cut Reggie out completely. The guy basically disappeared from the internet, and Snapchat was restructured, Reggie's name was removed, and just like that, the guy that came up with the original idea was gone. Reggie eventually sued Ivan and Bobby, claiming he was a co-founder. The case went on for years until Snapchat quietly settled, paying him $157 million. It was the biggest payout in startup history, and a painful reminder that even billion-dollar dreams can destroy friendships. But Ivan kept building. He wasn't trying to be right. He was trying to change how people communicated. By 2013, Snapchat was everywhere. Over 200 million snaps were being sent every single day. Let's look at this. 2013, 200 million snaps every single day. That was huge as of then. It was growing faster than Instagram, and Facebook was starting to panic. So Mark Zuckerberg flew to LA to meet Ivan Spiegel himself, and we all know what was coming. He offered Ivan Spiegel $3 billion in cash to buy Snapchat. Now, let's pause for a second. Ivan was 23 years old. He was living with his parents. He wasn't rich. And with that money, he could have retired instantly, bought mansions, yachts, everything he wanted. And this was 2013. But guess what? He said no. He told Mark, Snapchat isn't just a photo app. It's a new way people talk. Everyone thought he was crazy. Even investors called him reckless. But Ivan wasn't just being arrogant. He had a plan. He saw that Snapchat wasn't competing with Facebook. It was competing with human communication. Snapchat wasn't about profiles or followers. It was about presence, the feeling of being in the moment. So instead of Ivan selling out, he doubled down. Snapchat added stories, filters, chats, and discovery. And suddenly, it wasn't just a messaging app. It was a universe. And looking back now, I'm sure we all will be glad that Facebook never bought Snapchat. I'm very sure it would have changed a lot of things and made it less interesting. Like, I don't know, but yeah, we all know what Facebook does. After Ivan rejected the deal, Zuckerberg changed that strategy. If he couldn't buy Snapchat, he would copy it. I believe we all know this was coming. So, Instagram, which Facebook now owned, launched Instagram Stories in 2016. It was an exact replica of Snapchat's core feature. At first, Ivan laughed it off, but within months, Instagram Stories had more users than Snapchat. Snapchat's growth stalled. Its stock prices dropped. Everyone said it's over. But Snapchat didn't die. It adapted. It focused on its younger users, the Gen Zs, and rebuilt its platform around authenticity, creativity, and augmented reality lenses we call AR lenses. The filters, Bitmojis, and streaks became a cultural symbol or cultural symbols. Even today, more than 400 million people open Snapchat every single day. Now imagine how many streaks that will be sent every single day. And for teenagers, it is still the number one app for talking to friends. Ivan Spiegel once said, "We are not trying to make people famous. We are trying to make them feel comfortable being themselves." That's what makes Snapchat unique. Every other platform rewards performance, likes, clouds, followers. But Snapchat rewards connection. And maybe that's why it survived, because it never tried to be the loudest, it just tried to be real. Ivan Spiegel went from a college student with a rejected class project to one of the youngest billionaires on earth. He was laughed at, sued by his co-founder, nearly crushed by Facebook, and still he refused to quit. So next time someone tells you your idea is stupid, remember this story, because sometimes the idea that sound the dumbest turn out to be the ones that change the world. Check out this video on how Snapchat outsmarted Facebook to become cool with Gen Zs, and I will see you there.